All right. So we're live? Okay. All right, great. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Kaia Ra Official. We're getting this is our third Friday of the month where we go live on YouTube. We go live in the Sophia Code app, and then we have our Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. So we've got a lot of content for you, and I'm so happy to be back here live with you on YouTube. What an incredibly busy month it's been for me since we last connected here. How are you doing? How is the year of the dragon treating you? And how are you responding to these wildly intense, transformative, and creative energies that we've all been on a dragon ride with? Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, where you're watching live from, and how you're experiencing the year of the dragon. We always take your questions live once a month here on YouTube. And our background for today is all about the biggest astrological event of the year. With so many larger than life astrological phenomenons, you would think, what could be bigger than the year of the dragon, the recent solar eclipse? Well, it's actually happening tomorrow with the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction happening this weekend. And so we've got a visual of Jupiter here behind us to celebrate that conjunction and to celebrate what it means for you, wherever Jupiter and Uranus are in your chart, as well as the energy of Taurus. These are the areas of your natal chart that are going to be lighting up this weekend. And really the impact of this conjunction is speaking to really the next decade of your life, potentially even longer. So we're going to explore those concepts in the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, which is airing live, sponsored by the Sophia Code Foundation. Please be sure to reach out to us at either my website, kaiara.com, or the sophiacodefoundation.org to get those free login details to be able to join us and hundreds of other lightworkers around the world live during this beautiful channeled prayer ceremony that we offer for free once a month. So I'd also like to share with you, did any of you come to the Sovereign Soul Alliance? This week, we had our inaugural gathering of the Sovereign Soul Alliance. It was so special. This is a new offering from the Sophia Code Foundation that we just started on Tuesday, and we had such a beautiful turnout of souls from all over the world. We offer a live community chat for this free spiritual support group. And this offering is to serve the spiritual healing and awakening of survivors of rape, human trafficking, and domestic violence, and also the allies of survivors. So if you're interested in these topics, if you're interested in this subject matter of being a part of the conscious awakening about what is happening on our planet with rape consciousness, with how child trafficking is the most profitable business on this planet, and how much the energy, the resonance of domestic violence and abuse is impacting the very heart of our society, come check out the Sovereign Soul Alliance. We're talking about very difficult subject matters through the eyes of our higher self, through the heart of God's consciousness. And we are coming together in support of mindfulness practices that bring titration and regulation to survivors, as well as the Sophia Code teachings, which are supporting survivors to step into a sovereign recovery, to move out of I don't know how to explain it, the life-destroying energies of codependency and victimhood, and being able to move into a space of creatorhood where you can own the experience of what you survived without continuing to really like perpetuate the energy of victimizing yourself for what you survived. So these are some of the unique and delicate topics that we're addressing in Sovereign Soul Alliance. It felt amazing to be able to share as a survivor and to be in communion with other survivors during this time together. You can catch the replay if you're interested and you're just learning about this now inside the Sophia Code app. The Sophia Code Foundation is sponsoring this incredible free spiritual support group, as well as access to the replay. So thank you for your loving support of our foundation that is expanding this year. As I shared on my blog post recently, how we are moving most of what we produce as far as live and content and for the Academy, including the app, over to the management of the Sophia Code Foundation. So it's a big year for us. The year of the dragons initiating all of us, myself included, on many, many levels. And you can learn more about that shift on my blog at kaiara.com and check out our new website for the Sophia Code Foundation at thesophiacodefoundation.org. So again, every month I take your questions live that you write into our team. And so I'm going to move into that space right now. Thank you so much for tuning in live here, and let's get right into it. Okay, so we got a question from someone named Rebecca. And Rebecca asks, how can I clearly tap into my creativity when I feel uninspired or unmotivated? I want to know how I can keep that connection strong and over time when I'm not feeling creative. Well, Rebecca, what I would say is that consistency helps with creativity, creating a sacred space for your creativity, allowing yourself to create time in your schedule for regular dates with your creativity. The good news is that creativity is a state of mind. It's a consciousness that's already a part of you, and it's wanting to be expressed in your life in every moment. And so we often associate creativity with acts of artistry, or finished products. And the truth is, creativity is a divine intelligence. And as you consciously walk with your higher self and your connection to source or God, whatever you call that, you're going to feel that draws your creativity more often than not, because your higher self wants to help you cultivate your creative approach to life. So in your sacred, like for example, my art studio to me is a sacred place. I love to put fresh flowers there. I love to burn incense. I have goddess iconography connected to creativity, such as a statue of Saraswati and a painting of Saraswati, who is the Hindi goddess of creativity. I also have imagery of green Tara and famous artists that inspired me. And so that space is emanating the creative resonance that I want to connect to, whether I have time to get in there or not. When I walk through it, when my eyes glance on what I consider like altars to creativity, I am regenerated and refreshed by my desire to honor creativity and to honor the beauty way in life. And so ask yourself, like, what are easy ways that can get you back inside creative projects by, what more easily connects you with your creativity? Is it arranging flowers? Is it walking in nature? Is it listening to the ocean? Is it playing with a pet? Is it having a dynamic conversation about a subject matter that gets you really passionate and fired up? And then taking that energy and then finding the easiest way back into your creative project or your creative practice. Maybe creativity can be inspired by daily rituals like lighting a candle, burning some incense, and journaling about how you want to focus your creativity. Sometimes just setting the intention and writing it down and saying, hey, I'm open, higher self, to learning more about where you want to focus my creative energy next. And you'll start to feel impulses that you can take easy next step action on to honor that creative prompting arising within you. So I think when we have resistances to creativity, what's really happening there is we're afraid of our creativity. I think creativity is so stimulating. I think creativity is the way we truly want to live our life from that state of consciousness, that if you are feeling resistances to creativity, what you're really feeling is something arising around worthiness, self-esteem. Maybe you were told that it's not safe to be creative. Maybe there's safety arising. Maybe there's trauma around creativity. And I just want to assure you that that's normal and that most people will start to feel tired or resistant when they go to explore their creativity because they actually, underneath the surface, don't feel that safe about being creative. If you can relate to this, feel free to share in the chat that this is something that you've actually experienced for yourself when it comes to really focusing on creative energy. What I find is that if I can create easy, accessible ways to get back into a creative space, like having really fun coloring books around, or going to a class, maybe even a yoga class that that teacher always has a creative style, maybe a great soundtrack or an interesting way that they put asanas together. Or maybe someone has a really interesting way that they offer a guided meditation. Anything that we can draw upon to be visually or stimulated or that helps open our hearts, that can really continue to keep you connecting to your creativity beyond the fear of resistances to it. So yeah, that's what I would share with Rebecca. And let's see. Sasha is asking, I'm loving the astrology conversations that we've been having lately. And they're saying, and I'm looking into getting an astrocartography reading. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with astrocartography, it's when you look at where the planets were in the sky when you were born and the locations on the planet that are power spots for you in different areas of your life. So Sasha is asking, what is something that you recommend looking out for when learning more about your planetary placements and the lines on the Earth? Well, what's so interesting is we just did our class 2 of the 8 galactic keys of ascension with the Sophia dragons, and we were talking about in great detail our relationship to the archetypal energies of each of the planets. So I'm really grateful that this question came in, Sasha. And if you haven't joined the Dragon Journey, this is such a great opportunity to jump in and experience that opening ceremony, keys 1 and 2, for these galactic downloads that are just really helping us center ourselves as starseed light workers, as awakened conscious beings, having an earthly experience and having to regulate with how we're centered in a cosmos. Like, what is ground zero? and how are we relating with these planets? And so I love that you're asking about astrocartography, because when you go to these places on the planet, like say where you have a Jupiter line, you're going to experience the vastness, the expansiveness, and the beneficence of Jupiter more acutely when you're standing on those lines on the Earth. So what I would say is, when you get an astrocartography reading, you're going to find out, okay, here's where all of the different placements are in the planet, but what placements are best for you at this chapter in your life? So, for example, living on a Pluto line can bring great empowerment and power to you, but it sure is not going to feel as easy as living on a Venus line or a Jupiter line. In fact, you'll probably go through a great deal of challenge to access that personal power when you're living on a Pluto line. But then once you work through all the resistances of living on that Pluto line, you get to really go big in your personal empowerment. So there's a lot of strategy that can go into selecting those lines, and I really invite you to invoke your higher self before you get an astrocartography reading and set the intention of what are the lines, what are the planets that I need to align with more clearly at this moment in my life? Not forever, this moment, this year, or the next 5 years. And so that will kind of guide your next steps. And, you might find a forever home in an astrocartography reading, but I've personally, that's not what's happened for me. I'm a global kind of girl, and I really like knowing where all my options are across the world and spending time in different locations that allow for me to feel the activations that these planets are offering me in different parts of the world. So that's what I'll share about that. I want to thank you all for joining us live here on YouTube. I'm going to head over to the Sophia Code app now, where we're going to take even more questions live with our Path of the Initiate membership services and subscribers. If you haven't checked out the Sophia Code app, it's a beautiful spiritual environment where you can connect with other sovereign light workers just like you that are living a life filled with activation and conscious co-creation with their higher selves and source. And all of our content is inside this app, all of our Mystery School Academy curriculums, all of the free replays of the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, sponsored by the Sophia Code Foundation, the Sovereign Soul Alliance. We have a free community forum and a wonderful group of team members that are there to support your highest experience there. So be sure to download the Sophia Code app for free. And I look forward to connecting with you inside the app with our Path of Initiate members. And I will see everyone at our free Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective at the top of the hour. All my love to you. Thanks for joining us live today.